Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Devils in God's Country. I'm one of your hosts, Casper Rigsby. It's my lovely, talented co-host, Miss Allie Jackson. Say hi, Miss Allie.
Hi.
Our co-host, Tony, could not be here tonight. He is incapacitated. So it'll just be me and Allie. And tonight we are going to talk about our experience at the third Mythinformation Conference. I would say third annual, but they actually did two in 1 year, their first year. So it's not actually the third annual. This would be the second annual, but it was their third conference. And at this conference, there was a debate between Bart Ehrman and Robert Price over the historicity of Jesus. Very interesting topic, very lively discussion. Dan Barker was also there. Matt Dillahunty was there. Richard Carrier was there. Oh, goodness. I'm sure I'm forgetting so many other people that were present there.
Frank Stindler.
Yeah, there were a good bit of folks there. So it was a interesting experience. Got to meet a lot of really cool people and hang out with some folks and talk to some folks that I had not been able to previously meet and talk to and hang out with. So very cool, very cool experience. And that event was put on by Sean Fresick and oh my goodness, Robert Moore, Fritz. I don't.
Fritz Blandon.
Yes, Fritz Blandon, and several other members of Mythos Milwaukee whose names are escaping me right now, and I will be properly chastised by those wonderful fellows later for not remembering everyone's name and getting them here. But the guys in Mythicist Milwaukee put on this event. The event was up in Milwaukee. Great time, lovely time. Allie also gave a speech at this event, and apparently she had everyone in there just about in tears, discussing the topic that she wanted to discuss, which was comforting hatred. So a lot of people really enjoyed Allie's speech. A lot of people really enjoyed the debate. So Allie, how was your experience?
Phenomenal. So it went way better than I ever could have dreamed of it going. And this was my first time going out and speaking publicly in that kind of avenue. Of course, I've done like the podcasts and things like that before, but it was my first time to do one-on-one, face-to-face with a crowd. And it was just amazing. The outpour of support that I got from people, not only from the Mythicist Milwaukee team and the other speakers and the debaters even, but everyone in the crowd was just genuinely amazing. They were all just amazing people. I met a lot of new friends, which was awesome. And Casper and I got to hang out together. I made a post with our picture in it and laughed about us being devils in cheese country. But that was in and of itself just amazing. So the fact that I got to hang out with Casper for a bit face to face and we got to drink together made it really fun. And I'm also not used to talking so much. So right now my voice is raspy and it's probably going to be gone in a couple of days. So that was fun, getting a chance to just speak to so many people. The topic, so I touched on the topic in our last podcast, and with making notes and all the notes that I made, I couldn't follow them. So I got up there, the notes were Latin. I knew that I wanted to hit on certain topics, so I just did it, and I spoke from my heart. I think that's better than any outline you can put together. I also got filmed for Batman and Jesus. So I don't know how I'm going to fit into that movie much because I'm not funny, but I'm very knowledgeable on Wonder Woman. So I did at least get the opportunity to share the little bit of knowledge that I have. that I have about that topic. So that was a lot of fun. But in all honesty, like just meeting Sean and Fritz and all the people that you and I have worked with over the course of time, that in and of itself is just a gift to me. I love that team. I love those people. I love the work they do. And it was just getting the chance to hang out with them, to me, was worth everything. It was really cool. So, you mentioned and you touched on the fact that there was that debate there. Ehrman and Price, that was very, very interesting. So the whole group is about mythicism, right? Not for people who don't quite know what that is. It's not believing in Jesus. Not believing, obviously not just not believing that Jesus ever existed as a historical figure. And there are really a lot of really good sources of proof, no matter which stance you go on. It's just, to me, it seemed like at the end of the day, once Ehrman finished and once Price finished, at the end of the day, it was just, what are you going to buy into more? I don't feel like Ehrman, I feel like he was really passionate about his side, where Price maybe wasn't so passionate about his. So that was an important psychological aspect, I'd say. Ehrman threw out two logical fallacies that I noticed right away. One was supposed to be a joke, but asked who was voting for Hillary and who was voting for Trump, so that Price would raise his hand when asked who was voting for Trump. And so this political season has been gross. I think all of us can admit it's been gross. At least one or two of us watching the show has lost friends or seen people lose friends over this year's election. So it's been gross, but no matter what somebody's political views are, if you're not discussing political views, you shouldn't be discounting good information based on that asshole's voting for Trump. I don't give a fuck what he has to say. I mean, come on. Like, that's just not a very good thing to do. So I hope people didn't fall for that. I feel like he kind of did appeal to the fact that so many people do believe in Jesus, or so many historians do believe in the position of there being a historical Jesus, and like that in and of itself needed to be some sort of proof that he actually existed. But even by his own admission, when you have to go through someone told Paul, who told someone, who told someone, who told someone, who finally got it back to someone else. I mean, you talked about that, didn't you? Didn't you ask that question?
Yeah, in not in quite that direct a manner as to be that specific, but let me just say first and foremost, okay? I'm an honest person, and so I can say honestly that when it comes down to this debate, when it comes down to if you had to pick a winner and a loser, Ehrman won the debate, and I think most of us that were there that saw this, and I think most of those people who will watch the debate later, once Mythicist Milwaukee gets it posted, will also come to that conclusion that Ehrman won the debate. Now, for me, the question I have to ask myself is, did Ehrman sway me to his side? Even though he made the better statements in general, and he defended his position a little more thoroughly than what I can say Price did. And the answer to that is no. I can tell you all day long that Ehrman won the debate, but he didn't sway me towards his position. Not in the least, actually. And it's because of what you were just talking about. But my question to Ehrman, when I got to get up there and speak to him after I cussed at him, was my question to him was, at what point do we have to accept hearsay as proof? You know, at what level do we accept hearsay as being a validation of an argument? And of course, Ehrman alluded to the notion that, you know, historians have a method for doing this, and, you know, so they take all sorts of factors in, and then they make a compulsory decision on what seems most most reliable or most logical. But at the end of the day, no matter what decision historians come to, it's still based on hearsay, and that's the real problem. You know, Ehrman mentioned the fact that Jesus is is the most talked about historical figure of his time, and I'm not going to argue that point with him, um, but I will also say that, you know, and he also said that there were multiple sources for the existence of Jesus. Again, not going to argue that point with him. But if we look at Judaism, we see that there's multiple sources and attestations for the existence of Noah and Moses and Abraham. You know, and so at the end of the day, I have to ask, you know, at what point do we just accept hearsay as you know, our definitive answer to the question? I don't think that there is a point where we should just accept hearsay. Um, the problem comes with the fact that when we get right down to it, we're not going to have that definitive proof, you know. And one of the things that Price did say that I completely agree with him on is, you know, much like the God issue, you know, many atheists like myself have said, you know, if God just comes down and shows himself, I'll believe in his existence. Um, I most likely will not worship that God. Um, I will most likely still hold to the position that God is not worthy of worship. But I will admit to his existence at that point. So what Price said was, you know, if we found just one dude who wrote a letter home to his wife, while he was out and about around Jerusalem in that area, in the Galilee area, and saying, "Hey, man, I ran into this dude Jesus today, and like that was an experience," like that would be the nail in the coffin. Like that would be it, because this is that would be a firsthand account. You know, if you can date the source and you can say, well, yeah, you know, this is a source from that time, and it's a firsthand account. This isn't a second or third hand account. That would be the nail in the coffin. You know, problem is we're almost it's so unlikely that we're ever going to get that we're gonna continue, you know, having these two sides of saying, I don't accept hearsay, and the other side saying, well, you know, there's a level of hearsay you just have to accept. And you know, when you have historians and PhD scholars, then they make that decision as to what we should accept as hearsay, you know, as far as hearsay goes. And I don't buy into, like you said, that logical fallacy of um, appealing to uh, authority.
Popularity, or yeah, absolutely.
It just it doesn't fly with me. That's a logical fallacy. I don't have to agree with authority just because they're in authority. You
Right,
know.
right. And so that frustrates me. But what also kind of frustrates me is they actually agreed on so much, Price and Irvin, and they didn't exactly want to touch on or acknowledge the fact that they both did agree on so much. Like, even Irvin was saying, even if, you know, Jesus existed, but he wasn't the magic man everyone says he was. Well, then Jesus didn't exist. So, because what made Jesus Christ, especially by today's standards, is the fact that he was the magic man. Okay, this was a kid who was born to a virgin. This was a guy who could bring people back from the dead, cast demons out of people and into pigs and run them off a cliff. That is Jesus. So if Ehrman is up there saying, well, a Jesus existed, but he wasn't a magic man, then Jesus didn't exist. Does that, I mean, is that even a valid point? I don't even know if it's a valid point.
Yeah,
But
I think that they both agreed, like you said, that the mythological figure of Jesus didn't exist. Of course that's a point that any atheist is going to agree with.
oh
You
yeah,
know,
oh yeah,
um, and I guess when you get right down to it, it, proving that there wasn't a historical Jesus is not going to change a lot of people's minds on the issue. It's been proven scientifically and anthropologically that Noah didn't exist, and it's been proven the same way that Abraham uh, probably didn't exist, and Moses didn't exist. And those things are proven by having this book that tells us, hey, these people did all these things, and yet we go back through the historical record, and anthropologists look at everything, and they say, well, that didn't happen, because we have all these attestations, but when you look at the facts of, okay, well, what do they say, and it's the same way with God. You ask, well, what did they do? And like, that's the only judgment we can make. What did this person supposedly do? And I think the same, it, at least to some extent, has to be applied in terms of Jesus. When you say Jesus did this and Jesus did that.
absolutely. And that is a fabulous point. If we change the definition of God, right? We all know God is a creator, God who, well, I guess it's going to depend on what religion you're looking at. Let's look at Christianity. So we've got God who's the creator, God who's the father, God who impregnates virgins. This is what God is. So then if we have someone saying, no, I believe God does exist, but God is a unicorn that lives in my garage. So what would be the point of debating if God exists or not, right? Because you could both be like, okay, so you're saying that God isn't this magnificent being who created the universe and everything. So you don't believe in that God, then technically there is no God then, right? Because we can all look at a definition and say, this is what God is. So it's just like what I was saying earlier that frustrates me so much about Jesus. If we're going to start changing the definitions of who people are now, then is there really a point of even arguing it? Is there even a point of debating it? If we can all agree that he wasn't a magician, he wasn't a magic man, and the Bible's full of shit, what's the point?
I'm going to be that asshole, and I'm going to say that for airmen, the point is a paycheck. I like the guy. I do. I like the guy on a personal level. I like the guy. I think he is a very interesting man. I think he's good at his job in general.
Yeah.
I think that he holds to some biases, and I think a lot of those biases are most definitely influenced by where the fuck his paycheck comes from.
Mm-hmm.
When you're the guy the History Channel goes to affirm the historicity of Jesus and to explain the Bible to you, when you're a scholar who teaches in a school about the historicity of Jesus and about the Bible, your paycheck kind of depends on it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just one of those things where maybe it's fallacious for me to even say that. Maybe it is. Maybe that's a fallacy. I could be dead ass wrong, but I'm telling you what it looks like to me, and it looks like to me that this man's paycheck depends on him saying what he says and supposedly believing what he believes.
Because otherwise, like, I just don't understand why you would care. So I guess you're absolutely right. Like he has to figure out a way to make people care. But it's what frustrated me during the debate. And I'm not gonna lie, the debate was very frustrating to me. I don't particularly like debating. I think I'm good at it if I have to be, if it's a topic I'm passionate about. But it frustrated me because when Ehrman would passionately make a point. I felt like Price was just like, and I know why he did it sometimes. Sometimes I know why he just let things go, because there was really no point in wasting his time on fighting it. It wasn't relevant really to the point. But it was like, I felt like there were certain times that Ehrman just like owned, and I was like, you didn't have to own there. Like you could have said something to stop him thinking that he just won that bit. So sometimes I just wanted to like, Dr. Price, I know you know this. Like, I know, and so it was frustrating. And maybe it was frustrating because, yeah, I was sitting there like, if he's just going to be changing who Jesus was, then what is his point of being here? I don't know. Just, I don't know.
Well, on a totally different part, Dan Barker was awesome up there, singing his songs and giving his speech. It was really, really awesome to see him do that. I've never seen Barker speak before, so that was a very new experience for me, to see, what Dan has to offer, and it's very, I feel like it's very different in our community. It's something that was pretty lively and spirited, and especially following behind you, it was sort of, let's bring the tempo back up, let's bring the mood back up a little bit, and lighten the mood some. Additionally, Matt Dillahunty, moderating the debate, did a great job. Kept everybody on point, kept everybody on their time. He was very thorough in what he did there, and I believe Mr. Dillahunty said that he would be posting his thoughts on the debate soon. But I know, having talked to him there, at the conference, and then at the after party, he he feels like, like us. I mean, he feels like Ehrman won the debate. And he even alluded to maybe the idea that Ehrman may have swayed him a little more to his side. Now, is it conclusive? As far as Matt's position, I don't know. We'll have to wait to see what Matt has to say about it. But I think he did a wonderful job at moderating the debate. I think he was also a very colorful and enjoying character there throughout the whole event. So very, very cool to meet Matt and hang out with him, and just to see him in action. So very, very cool.
Yeah, no, that really was cool. So we got the chance to meet up with Corey Markham, another member of our team, a blogger and someone who's not a mythicist. So we got to introduce him to Ehrman, Price, and Matt Dillahunty, who he's a big fan of. And I don't know, what I liked about Matt was the fact that he was down to earth. I'm a down to earth person. Like, I would rather be serving people and helping people than be served and helped and things of that nature. So it was refreshing to meet someone. Where we both lived in Austin for a long time, and I'm going to make it up there to see one of his shows. So that was cool. But it was refreshing to see that he really is a down to earth person, who cuts through bullshit. I loved the comment he made. So if you watch his show, he is the guy who will be like, no, you're done, right? To callers. And he made that comment at the beginning of the debate when he was telling people, when you come up here to ask your questions, don't think you're going to get up here and ask your life. You don't think you're going to get up here and tell your entire life story. You're talking to a guy who tells callers, no, you're done. And he was like, you'll be done so quick. So get up here, ask your question, be gone, kind of a thing. It was just refreshing to hear that honesty. That was really cool. And Dan Parker, he is such a sweetheart. So during my speech, it was an emotional speech, and I wasn't nervous to be in front of people. That wasn't the problem. My biggest fear, and something that I actually mentioned, every activist's biggest fear is people being indifferent to what you have to say, right? I wanted everybody in that audience to love me or hate me, okay? I wanted them to feel something. I'm not afraid of people hating me. Please do hate me. At least then I can make you react, right? I can make you have an emotion. But my biggest fear as an activist was I was going to get up there and people were going to be indifferent to what I had to say. So it was really encouraging, really nice to have Matt Dillahunty actually sitting in through my speech, and Dan Barker, and being able to look back there and be like, these people are watching me and listening to what I have to say. I'm doing something, because it wasn't about me. And it wasn't about me. It was Atheist Republic. And that was the biggest message I was putting out there is Atheist Republic. We're the team. And so all I wanted to do was make my team proud because I'm representing a group of 300 people, and it was so encouraging and so nice. Sorry, I've got a piece of hair in my eye. Weird. It was so encouraging and nice to just be able to look out there and see that people supported Atheist Republic. Them sitting out there, they were supporting Atheist Republic and listening to my speech and giving me feedback from the speech. They were helping Atheist Republic, and that was just so phenomenal. I was so honored, to get to be there and do that.
Well, I know that several people approached you after the speech, and they wanted to know how they could help, how they could get involved, and that's really what we've always tried to do in the organization. Get people involved. And so anytime when you're able to reach out and reach people, and then they come back to you and they say, how can I be a part of this? How can I get involved? That's always a wonderful thing.
Yes. Speaking of that, speaking of people who came up to me after my speech, I walked off stage and I was greeted by this really kind man, and Jim Wright, who's been on my Facebook as a friend for like a year. He was really excited when he saw this speech. The Mythicist Milwaukee put this out like a year ago that we were all going to be speaking there. So he friended me then. But I saw Jim Wright with this guy I didn't know, and he's got this huge bag of books, and he hands it to me. And this man asked me a question after. He was the first person to ask me a question after my speech. So the first thing I did was just give him this great big hug. Thank you for listening to me, and thank you even more for standing up and talking out loud in front of a crowd to ask me a question. I was so grateful for him. All I wanted to do was hug him and cry. And it turns out that man was Frank Zindler. And Frank Zindler, one of the founders of the movement here in America. This man is fucking amazing. And there he was. He gave me books, and he was like, I love what you do so much. He had tried to help one person many years ago from Pakistan get out and try to save their life, and no one would listen to him. And Frank Zindler, he did everything he could, from talking to embassies, talking to places here in America, and nobody wanted to listen to him. And it frustrated him so much. So when I told him that my next goal, something that I've had a researcher put together things on, statistics on, was writing a new policy to give to foreign governments to insist they start accepting Bangladeshi atheists, proving that they are at war, because that's one of the stipulations that's just getting atheists killed right now, is they're applying for asylum, and they're like, no, they can prove their lives are at risk. Look at DOS. I was speaking about this last week. Look at Doss. Look at my friend. Proof, valid proof that their lives are in danger if they go back to their countries. And they say, no, it's okay. Go back to your country. We don't give a fuck about you. Because who gives a fuck about atheists? So I'm writing this hopefully it's going to change foreign policy when accepting or when viewing Bangladeshi atheist asylum cases, and they're going to have to start taking it. So I'm telling him about this, and he handed me his business card, and he's like, let me help. I want to help. This is what I want to do. He's like, I'm an old man now, and for the past couple of years, I've been stuck behind a computer writing books. He's like, I used to be out there just like you, doing just what you want, just what you're doing. I've got that passion, that drive. Let me help. So, like, just fucking wow. Like, Frank Zindler. Amazing. Helping Atheist Republic. Oh, sorry. It's just so awesome. So awesome.
Yes, it was definitely a very amazing experience all around. Another wonderful atheist that we met there was the Godless Engineer, and we are hoping that we can get Godless on here on the show at some point, and have him on as a special guest host from time to time, because Godless was just really cool individual to talk to and hang out with. So just it was an amazing experience to get to, I guess, hobnob with some of these people, to make some connections and to talk to some of these people, and to see where their interests lie, and to see if they'd be interested in helping us do what we do. It's one of those things where when you have these more high profile atheists that are getting involved with your little organization, that it can really change. It can be a game changer, so that's sort of why these things are important.
Yeah, something that we were talking about, and something that I kind of wanted to touch into my speech, but I don't think I did, was how important it is for atheists to start putting aside their animosity towards each other. Any atheist that's doing YouTube shows for money needs to stop. It's ridiculous. And if the drive for you to get more likes and more views is drama, that's come on, that's kind of pathetic. And so, I mean, we should be helping each other. We should be helping each other's causes, especially if somebody thinks something's more important and you think that's the least thing important. They're working on something. They're working on something and you don't have to do anything, but they're working on something to better your movement. So fucking support them and what they want to do. And when one atheist organization like Atheist Republic, when we help people by sharing their posts and getting their sorry, I'm getting drunk now, and you're getting their page out there, no one's unliking our page so they can go like someone else's. So yeah, hold each other's hands. Slap each other's hands, high five. We can build this movement together. Like we don't have to be this bitter, angry, let's yell at each other and start fights with each other. If you think something's important, start asking people to help you with your mission. Okay, so something that I think is important, I've been told forever isn't important. And I don't think it's important enough for me to stop what I'm doing to do this, but something that I'd really like to see done is see God removed from our currency. I would love to see God removed from American currency. Do I think that that's more important than the work I'm doing? No. Are there people who think that it is? Yeah. And rather than fight with them over, no, it's not important enough, you should be devoting your time to blah, 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 I'm going to devote my time to blah, blah, blah. And they can devote their time to getting God removed from our currency. And hey, if we can help each other by maybe sharing a few posts, isn't that a fucking ton better than picking apart what it is they're doing, telling them they're stupid, telling them they're just gonna fail anyways. I mean, give me a fucking break. Like, let's stop doing that shit. If you see an atheist page that's doing something and you don't think it's important enough, sounds to me like you know exactly what it is that's important and you should be doing it yourself. Don't go to other pages bitching they're not doing enough. So something that I actually love about Mythicist Milwaukee is you know, when they came to me a while ago, I think their page had like 2,000 something likes, and now they're up like so much. They've grown so much, and that has nothing to do with me, but I've been able to watch them grow and watch them do what's important to them and watch them, you know, do these great, tremendous things. That group put on the Reason Rally. I mean, they didn't put it on, but they had so much to do with helping and getting involved and getting it live streamed. That's what they did. Mythicist Milwaukee did that for the Reason Rally. It's one of our biggest atheist rallies of the year. So watching them grow over the past year and a half, 2 years, has just been such a beautiful experience. And I love their message. I love what they do. I love the inclusive nature that they try to make everything. Even this, we had Christians coming to watch that debate. There were Christians there at an atheist organization. That's how inclusive Mythicist Milwaukee is. And I think that's an amazing thing. So any way I can help them, I'm going to help them. And I hope one day they have well over 1,300,000 likes. And they just keep growing and growing and growing, because I think what they're doing is wonderful. They are including a part of atheists that might not like science, that might not be into Dawkins and the people we revere as the greats. They're reaching a brand new level of people by getting them active with daily things. They have found members for the fucking Eric Andre show. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being an 18-year-old kid? You're like, I don't give a fuck about science. Bill Nye was before my time. I don't care about him. But fucking Eric Andre has atheist activists on his show, which, by the way, I would love to throw out that I met Melissa Pugh, and she's gorgeous and perfect and amazing, and I love her. So the other person that I met there, she was a guest on the Eric Andre show through Mythicist Milwaukee. So, I mean, these guys are just, they're doing great work. And I can only imagine, you know, the way, if we were the way I see most atheist YouTubers and things like that are now, just being this, no, I'm not gonna work with you. No, I'm not gonna share your stuff. No, I'm not gonna. Just because they're focused on their own likes and they're focused on their own thing. Well, you are one piece of the puzzle. And even, you know, while I might not like that behavior, you're still a piece of this puzzle. You're still sending a message. You're still reaching an audience of people, and you're still doing amazing work. But if we help each other, and if we're good to each other, you know, we can start helping each other grow so much more. And I think that's wonderful. So you were talking about Godless Engineer. He's, to me, I would consider him a big YouTuber. I hate to admit it, but I don't watch a lot of YouTube in my spare time. But I actually had seen John before. I had seen him before this event, so that was kind of awesome for me. Like, wow, someone that I've actually seen, someone that I actually know. So it was cool that we got to see him. But he's going to come on our show, I believe, as a guest. We were going to do it at the after party. And he was going to be on then, but it wasn't the right atmosphere for a podcast, unfortunately.
Yeah, there were a lot of people there, and it was just one of those situations where you didn't want to thrust a camera in people's face, and we also didn't want to just take up a table over in the corner and broadcast the show and not be involved with what was going on. So it was just like you said, it's the wrong atmosphere for that to take place. And I'd also like to touch on, we were supposed to have David Silverman on earlier today. That fell through due to some issues that we're not going to discuss here. But let me just say I've reached out to David again, and hopefully we will be able to get David back on the show at some point in the near future and have a talk with him about all sorts of interesting stuff and stuff that David's out there doing. So for those of you who were looking forward to that show, I do apologize that fell through. And we are working on remedying that and getting David back on the show. Just some unfortunate events during this past weekend precluded that being done today, and us being able to follow through with that. So for everybody who was looking forward to that, I apologize. Apologize profusely for that. And like I said, we'll try to get David back on the show sometime in the near future. You know what you were saying about a lot of these other atheist YouTubers and stuff. Some of them are doing good work, and then others I'm just like, you're pieces of shit. Like I don't know why you're here. I don't know why you're doing what you're doing, and I don't have a lot of respect for a lot of these people. I know that's just, it's not nice, but I'm not really a nice person when it comes to people acting like jackasses and then expecting me to respect them. It's just not going to happen. If you act like a jackass, I don't respect you. I just don't. So yeah, there are some out there who want to single themselves out as and do their own thing and go their own way, and they don't want to work with anybody else, but they're still doing good work and they're still trying to accomplish some things. So I don't disrespect them. I just I wish they understood that we can do more together. But hey, that's on them. It's their thing, so they can do whatever they please. But then there's others which I have no respect for them. I don't respect what they do or the bullshit that they feed off of. And I think it's a travesty, honestly. And
it is a travesty because, like I said, they are a piece of our puzzle. Like whether we like that or not, they have the atheist name on them. Their purpose is to reach atheists. So they're a piece of our puzzle, and it's I just wish that, and I'm not one of those touchy. Well, I am one of those touchy-feely. I wish everything were wonderful and great and happy people, but I just feel like we could be doing so much more if we just worked together and didn't do that shit. Just
no, I agree that we could definitely be doing more and helping each other a lot more if we were able to work with each other. But at the same time, like you said, they're a piece of the puzzle. But I look at it as, if there's a puzzle and the main picture is of a dog frolicking through a field and it's missing one piece, and you put that piece in and it's actually
the dog shit.
Yeah, it's dog shit coming out of his ass. Like you haven't added to the beauty of the puzzle. Like,
right,
you just made it worse. Like, now it's bad.
Yeah.
Like, it was a beautiful picture, and then you added that, and it's like, oh damn it, why did you make a puzzle that look like that? I don't know, and that's just my opinion, but I just some of these people, I'm like, you were a fucking I don't know, you're a pimple on the asshole of humanity. I don't know. I'm an asshole though. Like, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, we're not getting massive views or anything. Like, there's not a lot of people watching our show. I get that. That's okay.
Well, that's the thing is, you and I never really did this. This is basically you and I having a conversation, and it's being recorded. The purpose, and I actually, I did mention this show, even in my speech, as a way of comforting hatred, this is our venting platform, right? So you and I get to vent about the things that piss us off, and that in and of itself kind of keeps us from starting to hate things. This is an outlet. This is just what we do. And, you know, sometimes people are also pissed off and they want to join in and watch what we're saying, and we're here for them. So you and I never did this for views. You and I never did this for anything other than just to get drunk with each other, have some fun, and vent. I mean, so the viewership is neither here nor there for me. But yeah, I just now I can't stop thinking about a dog frolicking through a meadow with a piece of shit on the ground. I'm gonna have to draw that out as a cartoon for you. It's gonna be hilarious.
You see that turd right there? That's you. You motherfucker.
Oh goodness. But yeah. I know, but the whole weekend in and of itself was absolutely amazing. I really, honestly, I remember before the show, Fritz and Sean were like so stressed out, and their faces were so serious. And I mean, like, it hit me then just how much work they had actually put in to making this a success, you know, because here are these guys running around all stressed out. And I remember all I wanted to do was be like, it's gonna be great. It's like, just relax, don't know, it's gonna be fine, here's some hugs. But the fact that they did work so hard. I don't think a lot of people, especially when you go and you get to enjoy yourself and you get to have fun, you get to watch people speak, people got to watch Dan perform. It was incredible. You don't actually look at all the hard work that's been put into getting that together and getting it done. You don't look at the pieces. I got to speak to Adam, the guy who runs their video equipment for them, and you know, you get to meet the pieces of the puzzle that help bring it all together. And it's so much work and it's so much stress, and I think that these guys nailed it. They have some sort of talent that's just above and beyond what you'd normally see. I've been to atheist conventions. I went to the first Texas Secular Convention at Stephen F. Austin State University, and it had Matt Dillahunty as a speaker. It had Jerry DeWitt. It had Aaron. I'm so sorry for mispronouncing the name. I'm not going to get it right towards the end of the show. So it had this great lineup. And it didn't run half as smooth. It wasn't half as fun. It wasn't half as open and interactive. And I still thought it was great, right? Like at the time I thought that this is awesome. But what we went to over the weekend was this amazing dynamic of just the right atmosphere, just the right speakers, just the right topics. And this is stuff those two guys put together with their team. But I mean, just the thought, you know, that's what they put together. It was absolutely incredible. Like I would never be able to do what they did. Well, I can't say that I've never, because it is a goal of ours. But hopefully, Casper, you and I will be doing this with our American branch. So, you know, but which I know we should talk about this after the show, but we will have to work on finding an investor so that we can put together some small, maybe we'll call it like a Bible Belt convention. I don't know. I don't know. We'll find a way to wrap something, but we need to find an investor and try to do something. But I don't think it would ever be as good as the way it all came together and all the hard work it takes. And atheists are like herding cats. you know, how are we so, why are we so demanding on not being grouped together and not being looped together? Like, I don't know what the fuck is up with that, but we're a fucking herd of cats. And it really is that way. But these guys, they owned it. They know what they're doing. It was so cool.
You know, speaking of us doing events, I'm trying to work with the guys from Mythicist Milwaukee and do an atheist music and arts festival, which would
Yeah.
basically be like kind of here in Tennessee we have this event called Bonnaroo, and I'd like to do something that's like atheist oriented along those veins, you know. Have musical guests that are atheist and have atheistic material that they do. I'd like to have some comedians there. I'd like to have some speakers, you know, some atheist artists, and just have a really good time for maybe a couple of days, you know, like
Yeah.
2 to 3 days, just
The
really do it up.
festival! Yay, a festival of atheist stuff. That's so cool. That is so cool. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think it would be something that would appeal to a lot of people on many different
Yeah.
levels, you know. So it's just that's a dream of mine, and hopefully the guys from Mythicist Milwaukee might want to be involved in that, and maybe some other groups, you know, maybe some other atheists out there would want to get involved in that, because it could be something really cool. I know the Reason Rally didn't really do as good as everyone was hoping, you know, and it's
Yeah.
I think there was just some parts to it that were missing, and I think with the festival, like what I'm talking about, is where we could interject those pieces of the Reason Rally that were missing, and make it something really awesome for a lot of people. So
Okay, we don't have much time left. I'm going to bring this up anyways. It has nothing to do with what we've been talking about. Today I read an article from April of 2015 about 15 women who are atheists. And the subtitle of this fucking horrid article was, "Yes, women are atheists too." And I'm like, okay, dumbass. Like, this is 2015. We're clear on the fact that women are atheists, okay? But what pissed me off the most was the fact that we're talking about actresses. Actresses. That's who makes the list. Now, they did mention Ayn Rand, and here's the Allie. So they mentioned 2 great women. And I don't care if people like Ayn Rand's work or not. She was a fucking amazing atheist activist. And so, okay, so My Idol was in there, and Rand was in there. So they mentioned 2 women. And so I'm looking at this article, and the other one was like, I forget that redhead actress that redid Silence of the Lambs. I don't know. But she's in there, and I'm like, what the fuck has she ever done for atheism? Like, seriously. Or Angelina Jolie. Like, why are these the 15 women who are atheists? I just, you know, and so I sat down and I wrote my own list of 15 women. And these are, you know, like great women who were popular or dead by 2015. I don't know, like, it pisses me off. It really pissed me off seeing that in 2015, anyone could have this idea that maybe there weren't women in atheism, and so they're like, oh, here you go, there's some women in atheism. But even this weekend, I got to meet some of the most amazing women who are atheist activists. So I don't know. I am really hoping that maybe by 2020 we kind of get a handle on this. And I don't know, I'm gonna talk to the bloggers and see if they'll put together a new list with, like I said, women who are either dead by 2015 they did great things for the movement. I mean, Madeline, oh, is it Madeline? Yeah, but she why wasn't she there? Like, I don't know. But yeah, that's probably my closing. I should probably stop. That's it's my closing. Casper, why don't you take it from here?
Well, I think my closing thoughts are this. I enjoyed this debate, and like I said during my question to Airman, which I started off by thanking the Airman and Price for being there and for doing it, and I told Airman, I said, unlike you, I think this is important. Actually, I said, unlike you, I think this is fucking important. I said, as skeptics, we should hunger for the truth. Like, we should want to know what's factually true, you know, and that's why these sorts of debates and these sorts of events are important, you know, because it's about doing our best to know what's factually true. And I think we have to keep striving for that. You know, we can't just accept the easy answers or the soft answers or the authoritative answers. If you don't think something's correct and true, challenge it. You know, do your part to challenge it. And for me, what I do, I write. So I will be, over the course of the next probably 6 to 8 months, I will be writing a book to challenge Airman, not in any sort of debate, but to challenge his ideas, and to challenge his position, and his level of surety on his position, based on, you know, his dissenters and the ideas that don't agree with his position. So hopefully I can offer something as just a layman who isn't a fucking PhD historian. Oh my God, I won't have the authority to fucking actually pose these issues, but I'm gonna do it any fucking way. And I don't care who challenges that notion that I have to have a fucking PhD in biblical studies in order to actually have a grasp and understanding of these topics. I don't care what anybody thinks on that. I'm a skeptic who seeks the truth, and if I see something I don't agree with, I'm gonna write about it. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna say something about it. You know, because that's what we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to just get out there, and we're supposed to challenge ideas that don't necessarily meet the standards of being factual truth. So, um, as always, the thoughts and opinions expressed here are not necessarily the thoughts and opinions expressed by all members of Atheist Republic. We have a large team of people, and we cannot possibly speak for all of them, nor can we speak for all members of the atheist community. So if you have any problem with anything that we've said here, although, I mean, it would probably be kind of hard to have too many problems about this particular show, but if you have any problems, please address them. Devils in God's Country. Visit our Facebook page. Address them there. You're welcome to address them in the comment section below, on YouTube, or you can send an email to me personally at casper@atheistrepublic.com, and I will be happy to engage you in whatever way you'd like and address your issues. We're going to start doing this more often, so I want to just throw this out there for anyone who comes back and watches this show later. Atheist Republic is a nonprofit organization originally out of Canada. We'll be hopefully getting our American branch finalized and set up this year. What Atheist Republic, the organization, does is not free. We try to help people in countries where they are threatened and their lives are threatened, and we try to build a strong atheist community and atheist presence both online and in our local communities. And these things aren't free. So please visit atheistrepublic.com. We have a Patreon. If you can give a one-time donation, or if you can give a monthly donation, it would greatly help us achieve our goals in doing what we do, in helping people and trying to build a strong atheist community and atheist presence. So please, atheistrepublic.com. Check us out. Go to the page. See if you want to do something with us. We'd greatly appreciate it. We will be back next Monday. Have no idea what the topic is. Have no idea if we'll have somebody on. We'll try to have somebody on. I don't know. Reach out to a few folks, see if somebody wants to come on here and do the show with us. Until then, same time, same channel, next Monday, and we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.